make the strings.
Uh-oh. What was that? It's going bye-bye. So guess what we got delivered, guys. I don't know if you guys could guess, but if you guys were paying attention in one of my last videos, I got one 2JZ, two 2JZ. All right, and they're the freight company goes. Yeah, there's the trailer in the sunlight. If you guys seen that, but yeah. So back at the shop today, these are those two 2JZGTE VVTIs that I ordered from Dallas JDM, and so I guess I didn't really know because I guess they didn't put my name on the actual freight slip. They had it on the engines, or they didn't have my phone number, so they didn't call me and they didn't tell me that it was coming today exactly. But you know, basically Brandon, the shop neighbor, he just called me. He's like, hey, they're trying to deliver 2 engines, get your ass over here. So I did, and yeah. So I'm pretty stoked. One of these is not mine. One of these is for my my uncle. He has, I think it's like a 34 Ford, like 2-door coupe, and I don't know. I'd have to get some specifics on it. Maybe get a picture. Try to get a picture from him and see exactly what he's planning on putting in one of these. But you know, he's seen my drift car and he was pretty stoked about, you know, the power and everything, you know, involved with that. And he's like, well, how much are these things? And I told him, and he's like, oh shit, you know, for that, I might get one. So he's always been like a small block Chevy guy, and you know, always messed with that stuff. But yeah, he's getting more into the turbo stuff. So one of these is his, so I went ahead and ordered it for him, and then one of these is for the 2J. So I guess kind of the plan is today, if you guys remember when I initially got the other 2JZ that was supposed to go in the Supra before, well, basically I robbed it for the giveaway car. But anyhow, I basically put the engine right up next to on the driver's side of my drift car, and then just pulled the engine harness over and then plugged it in to the engine harness, so it had power and everything all in there. And the only thing I had to do was hook up a basically the fuel. So all I had to do was hook up the fuel to it, and then, you know, hit the positive, the battery with you know, with the starter solenoid, and then basically it just fired right up. So that's going to be kind of the plan for these things today, is basically start them both on the ground, make sure that they're both, you know, both run good, and, you know, sensors good and ECUs and stuff are good, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly which one. It's probably going to have to be this one. This one is missing the harness off of for the igniter and stuff. It was, you know, it was cut off of there, so I'll have to figure out an igniter. And but anyhow, I'm going to be doing, I believe, a wiring specialties harness in the Supra. So, you know, since this harness is kind of cut, this one is in really good condition, which my uncle will need to kind of wire it, you know, wire it up himself. And so yeah, I guess that's kind of the plan so far, or the plan so far today. And then I guess I'm going to start tearing this thing down and kind of get it to where I can start looking at it. I am going to do a little bit more maintenance stuff on this one, probably like some valve stem seals on it while it's actually, you know, put it on the engine stand. I have to swap. I have the 1J over there with the rear sump pan, so I have to swap all that stuff over because the Supra is a rear sump engine, whereas these ones, I believe this is like the JZS 160, 170, I don't know, something like that. Anyhow, it's a front sump, so it works. The front sumps work really, really well in the 240s for the engine swaps, you know, because they're front sump. But you have to have the rear sump for the Supra. And I get asked a lot about, you know, these 2Js and you know, kind of where to order them and how to order them and what to look for on them. But you know, what I would recommend is just make sure that the ECU is non-immobilized. You can see over here, this does not have a black plug that goes into it, like a little additional plug. Both of these ECUs are non-immobilized. So just make sure that, I'd say non-immobilized, make sure that it has, you know, the mass airflow sensor, which is right there, that goes into just like a pipe, like an inlet pipe. You could buy the flange or buy like the little kit. Make sure that it has the igniter and, you know, obviously the ECU, and that, you know, kind of double check, make sure that these sensors, you know, like the TPS on the side is in good condition, hasn't been whacked off, because a lot of them have been, you know, because it's just being transported and stuff. But make sure that's there. Most of the other sensors and stuff, tranny or not, doesn't really matter, but like my uncle is going to be using the automatic tranny. But yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna quit rambling, and maybe I'll start working on these things a little bit. How many JZs do we have laying around the shop now, Dave?
Too many.
There's I think almost everything in here right now that almost has an inline 6. Well, that one used to. This is inline 6, inline 6, inline 6, inline 6. Two 2Js. There's a 1J in the corner.
There's a 2J.
There's a 2J right here. And then we're gonna look at David. Why did you? Dave bought a poor man's Supra today.
I mean, it was cheap and it has all kinds of dope parts on it.
Okay, well, let's look at it. Sorry about the wind, guys. David farted.
We got a tornado going on here.
All right, so this is David's new whip. I really do apologize about the wind. I'm trying to cover it, but yeah, this is 95 SC300. It has 10 coilovers on it, and a JZ. What kind of a JZ? These things came factory with JZs, but this one is a little bit different. So this is the little girly one. Dave's got the 1JZ in here, and I guess the plan is, so he bought that 2J, and then he got this crazy Borg Warner turbo setup and this manifold and all this stuff. And so I think he wants to put that in here, and then, you know, he's gonna give me this 1J. So thank you, David, I really appreciate it.
Let's see, look at the injectors.
So he thinks that, because it's having some issues running, and that's why I got it cheap. But it had them in there?
Yeah. So
Spitfires, or maybe just China ones? Maybe those are China ones.
These are the ones from Australia.
They don't have a name on them, though.
I think they say on this fucking side of them.
Huh, somebody towed it. Is that you?
Huh? No, the lady towed it.
It's automatic.
It is.
This is actually not bad. Like the interior?
Yeah.
It ain't bad. It's got drilled and slotted. It's got wheels. I don't know what taillights those are. I think those are the 95 ones, but yeah, look at that seat. That seat's not even like butchered like crazy. That's kind of surprising. How many miles are on this thing?
30 something.
It's got the power.
Let's see if it likes you.
130 something. Should we start it? And now it runs. So it runs, but it runs weird. Will it let you rev it up?
Yeah.
Quiet. Really quiet.
Yeah, it has to be a fuel issue.
It's a dirty fuel filter. That's probably stock exhaust.
Yeah.
That's why it's so quiet.
It's kind of tight.
Somebody peed in the back seat.
It was there's a jug of fucking coolant back there.
Tight.
It's popped.
What's up, guys? So, if you guys can't tell, I'm standing on my new ladder. This is a Facebook Marketplace find. I don't know what it was out of, but the lady was using it for like a zip line on the side of her house or something like that. But it's a car, man. But this will help kind of putting tires and all that stuff up and down on the lift. As you can see, there's been a lot of JZ stuff, you know, in the shop lately. You know, with the new Supra and all that. My uncle did end up picking up that other 2J from me the other day, so this is the official one that is going in this guy right here. I did want to make this video a little bit different. I initially did a compression test, and I was just editing. I was basically editing all that stuff on my laptop, and then, I don't know, sometimes my head cam does some really, really weird stuff. I basically did the compression test with my head cam, and I think this one was pretty much like 155 like across the board, which I was a little bit disappointed at first because, you know, it was like 180, you know, in the videos and stuff, but I guess like the elevation changes a little bit. So it's pretty much like 155, 160, somewhere in there. You know, and I am using a different compression test gauge than what they were using, but I did get this engine from Dallas JDM, and one of the issues that I guess the harness did come cut, but this, I guess it doesn't really matter a whole lot because I am going to be doing like a wiring specialties harness. They are coming out with like a 2J VVTI into like Mark IV chassis like you know, engine to chassis harness or whatever. And I'm planning on going with the EMU, you know, full standalone and injectors, and, you know, they don't make injectors, but, you know, I mean, the plan is big dog power with this guy. I really wish I would have been able to, kind of part, you know, what I was going to do on this video was actually, you know, tear that whole thing down and put it on the stand, but I don't have time. I got to get on the road. We are headed out to California, but I figured I'd make this quick little update to at least give you guys some, you know, some Supra update things. So if I haven't told you guys before, I am working with Turbo by Garrett on the Supra. This is their new Garrett Gtx3584rs. It has a 1.01 AR exhaust housing, and this is their own exhaust housing. They're stainless steel and really, really nice piece. But in this manifold right here, this is a Future Fabrication manifold, and this is basically just their 2JZ manifold with the Vband, and you know, I guess this is like the Pro Mod housing. You have to specifically tell them, you know, kind of the exact flange that you want because the tile one is a little bit different. And then this is a genuine tile 44mm wastegate. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much what is going in the Supra. This manifold is super, super pretty. I'm really, really stoked about this. I've known about Future Fab's manifolds and I guess JZ parts for a while because my buddy Jesse on his car, he initially kind of introduced me to them. He bought they have a really cool 1JZ VVTI like downpipe, and it has like a little external dump off of it with like the factory wastegate. So we put that thing on his car, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I really liked it. And I was familiar with Future Fab because he does Forrest Wang's turbo manifold. So this is pretty much the exact manifold that is on like Forrest Wang's like FD car. I think that it has like a 60mm wastegate though, or something like that, and maybe slightly different positioning because this is like the Mark IV one or something. But yeah, you can actually save 10% off, you know, on Future Fab's website by using the code MotionAutoTV in all caps. You know, 10% doesn't sound like a whole lot, but you know, when you're talking about like $1,000 or, you know, $1,200 turbo manifold, and this manifold is usually, I think it's right around $1,200, which is actually, even at that price, that's a great price, because if you look at any of the other manifolds that are like in this realm, I would say of like quality and everything, they're like $1,600 to $1,800 or, you know, $2,000+. So definitely a really nice piece, and I'm pretty stoked to be working with Garrett on the Supra build. This little turbo right here is capable of supporting 1,000 horsepower in this like little bitty frame like that. And essentially, it should spool basically the same as my drift cars, which is really, really quick. So I guess the plans are to leave the bottom end stock for now, stock cams. I'm probably gonna pull the head off and do like valve springs, head studs, and that's it. Valve springs and head studs. Throw some big O injectors in there and a standalone, and we'll see if we can make some power. So I would really like to be, you know, between 600 and 800 right away. Basically, kind of as soon as I get it running and go get it tuned, we should be at like 600 to 800 horse. That's the plan at least. And I am going to be working with Collins on the transmission adapter to the Nissan 370Z transmission. I have this thing right here. This is a 370Z transmission. Basically the same exact setup that I've had in my drift car for the past couple of years. I've had the Collins setup on here as well. But this is like their older kit, the one where it actually has like the spacer and uses like the stock 370Z bell housing. But this other one, it's really interesting. It works really good with the Mark IVs. Basically, you cut this housing right here, and then on the inside, there's like some bolts where everything kind of bolts to. And there's basically like a billet aluminum adapter plate, and then we will be using the stock like 2JZ, I think it's like a 1JZ bell housing, to basically adapt it so you don't have to, you know, bang out the tranny tunnel or anything, because I guess like on the Mark IVs, the tranny tunnel is a little bit skinnier, and that transmission is pretty wide around the perimeter. And in my S14, it really didn't matter because I already beat out the tranny for when I did the T56 when it had the LS in it. But I don't know. I guess this video is mostly just a quick little update showing you guys some parts and stuff that I am putting on the 2J. And I guess we'll probably make another video just ripping all the turbos and everything off of this thing and yanking the head off of it, because I do want to do like the valve stem seals and, you know, valve springs and etc., all that stuff. But I am working on parts and stuff in the background. I also mentioned in one of my other videos that you guys might not have seen, I'm basically taking kind of December off, you know, of the whole Supra thing, just to kind of catch up on some of the other projects, you know, obviously like the truck and you know, drifting and this thing, and we got some pretty cool, I got some cool ideas for this thing. But appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you later. So